One historic moment in the fight for LGBTQ rights was the removal of homosexuality from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, or DSM. Starting in 1952, homosexuality was listed in the DSM, an American Psychiatric Association guide for mental health professionals, as a sociopathic personality disturbance. In 1973, homosexuality was reclassified from a psychiatric disorder to a sexual orientation disturbance, but it wasn't until 1987 that the American Psychiatric Association completely removed homosexuality from the DSM.
A large group of straight cisgender individuals thought of homosexuals as sick people needing help. Social norms were structured by those in power. For example, at the beginning of the Cold War era, the witch hunt for communists and government was also partnered with trying to identify and fire LGBTQ+ individuals in government. However, there was also pushback and criticism as empirical research, starting in the 1950s and continuing for decades, showed that there was no difference in the mental health between straight and gay men.
The ruling of homosexuality to be a mental illness was toxic for many and generated more protest, brutality, and beyond awful punishments. Consequences for homosexuality consist of jail and prison time, death threats, and even murder. Disturbingly, since homosexuality was ruled a mental illness, those who identified as homosexuals and weren't serving time had to go to a mental health institution and/or seek therapy. These therapy sessions were more like torture. Therapists would drug and/or execute electric shock therapy to try to convert patients to be straight.
There are a few reasons homosexuality was removed from the DSM. A major one was the lack of empirical research supporting the mental illness status. A second was a big push for the separation of church and state. The removal affected cultural beliefs about homosexuality, which has led to more modern social movements in support of the LGBTQ+ community, such as marriage equality. Since the removal, the APA has continued to advocate for the rights of those in the LGBTQ+